Hey, welcome to Bollox Talks and Tangents. This is our fourth show, right?
Fourth show.
And today we're talking about history of cigarettes and lost
bars of St. Augustine. Have a moment.
Yes. But one of our sponsors is one of the most active and greatest bars in town.
Oh, yeah.
Meehan's. And we're going to get to what the history of Meehan's is.
Yes,
but
we
right
will.
now, the great part about Meehan's is it's 3 bars in one.
You can pub crawl in Meehan's without ever leaving Meehan's. 3 bars. You got the upstairs bar, Johnny's Oyster Bar, best view in town. You go out the back, you go and sit outside, drink outside, right there, and then finish the night off inside, downstairs at the bar right there.
Yeah.
Best bar staff in town.
Just great people.
Wonderful.
Just great people. I mean, and if it's nice, I think the rain's gone. Hopefully today the rain's gone. The backyard should be nice tonight.
It'll be perfect tonight.
So a little bit of cool. All right. But I got to talk about our whiskey of the week. I got 4 roses going. The single barrel 4 roses. Little sweeter than my normal bourbon.
Yeah?
But it makes for a really good old fashioned with this one.
Yeah?
So
4 roses.
4 roses.
Right.
So
I'll have to try it.
see where it's out of. I know it's out of Kentucky.
Yeah.
So it's in Lawrenceburg, Kentucky.
Lawrenceburg, Kentucky. All right.
Little 4 roses,
Fair enough.
single barrel is the whiskey tonight. And if you guys see us like just sweating like crazy, the storm evidently knocked out the air conditioning in here.
Yeah. Now it wasn't too bad, but we had to close the door, and it's oven-like, to put it mildly.
Yeah. So stuffy would be an extreme understatement.
Yeah, we thought about going topless, but then we thought it would horrify everybody out there.
Here, I'll go topless.
See, look at Troy. It's shocking.
No, we got to put it back on. I see my own reflection in the video there. All right. So speaking of degrees, 900 degree pizza.
Oh, I like how you did that. That was
900
really
degree
beautiful.
pizza and pasta, right off of Lewis Speedway, just past the high school there. Amazing pizza. Good people, great people there. Local business people supporting our show. Check out and support 900 degree pizza and pasta.
Yeah, and seriously, like if you're over there picking up kids from school and you want to just put an order in, grab the kids, get the pizza on the way home, it's right beside the high school, and the pizza is absolutely fantastic. You got to check it out. 900 degree pizza, great people.
All right. I mean, and all our sponsors are great. And if you guys would help us with those sponsors, help us get them some support, because they're supporting local business, and locals help locals.
Locals help locals.
Right. And last night I did a packed house at the Beacon listening room.
Yeah.
There was 112 people in that place, not a seat in the place. You didn't make it?
I didn't make it, and I promised. I was talking to Frank on Tuesday night.
He actually said, hey, Derek says he's coming in. I was like, well, I'll look forward to seeing him twice this week, but that's okay. I got to see you today. But check out the Beacon listening room. They have some of the best entertainment in town, if not the best entertainment in town.
Yeah.
Excellent food, amazing staff there. And if you don't like the menu there, you just walk across the parking lot.
Go right next door.
You're going to love Gypsy.
Gypsy is killing it right now.
If you live in
Killing
St.
it.
Augustine and you haven't eaten at Gypsy Cab, do yourself a favor and go check out the Gypsy Chicken. And
It's legendary.
The best salad dressing in town.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt.
All right. We got to talk about Abare, Kresge and Associates. My accountants, they've been in business for over 20 years.
Rumor has it that they have one filing cabinet just for your taxes.
It's actually a vault.
A vault.
But,
Okay.
we're not going to go with the filing cabinet. That'd be too easy for access. So
Fair enough.
it's a vault.
A vault.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a vault. But I mean, Billy Abare over there has been my guy. For the last 20 years, taking care of me, taking care of my taxes. If you can keep me out of trouble, the hardest question anyone asks me is what you do for a living. And the hardest
They
question.
can keep Troy out of trouble. They
And the
keep
hardest
anybody
question
out of trouble.
anyone could ask my accountant is, what does Troy do for a living? So, they just do an amazing job. They're always going to be honest with you. They're always going to be upfront with you. They'll keep you in a good place and protect your money better than anybody else in town.
Yeah, great accountants.
Yeah.
And everybody needs a great accountant.
Yeah. One of the best go-to tourist
Pirate
places.
Museum.
Yes.
The Pirate Museum, hands down. I can tell you. So I suggested to a friend of mine who'd moved here from Hong Kong.
Mm-hmm.
Moved here from Hong Kong. Gone through a lot of this stuff. Moved here about a year ago. Gone through a lot of stuff. And I said, have you taken the kids to the Pirate Museum? He goes, I'm not going to the Pirate Museum. I said, listen, here's what. Go to the Pirate Museum. If you don't like it, I will buy the beer for the rest of the evening. 3 hours later, comes back.
He bought
Wife
the beer.
and kids love it. He's buying the beer. He's like, dude, I had no idea. Blew me away.
Yeah.
Because they have so many things there. They've done the work, the research, the history of the place. Everything about it is amazing. The people who work there, they're so knowledgeable. They're so nice. It's an extraordinary place. The Pirate Museum.
And you can tell the owner, Pat Croce, loved the history of pirates.
Yeah.
Because he did it right.
He did it right.
He did it right. So, all right. So, yeah, make sure you're taking care of those sponsors, and we'll talk a little bit more about them in a little bit. But, you know, we start off pretty much every show with a phrase of origin of something.
Right.
So, your phrase this week is?
Don't look a gift horse in the mouth.
See, and I've heard this one, but I can't for the life of me remember what it was. So what is?
So it goes back to, no, it's a really, really old phrase. It actually has its origins in Latin. I'm not even going to try and say the Latin, but basically what it means is, if somebody gives you a gift, you don't want to go, I don't really appreciate that. Maybe it's not the best gift. And the origin of it is this. If somebody gifted you a horse, as apparently was fairly common back in the day.
Sounds like a pretty nice gift.
It does. You didn't check out the horse's mouth because
that you look at a horse. I had horses. You look at a horse's mouth to tell how old the horse was.
Right. A horse's teeth will tell you how old the horse is.
Yeah.
And if you look at the horse's teeth and go, oh, they just gave me an old horse.
They gave me a nag. They gave me a problem.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's such a generous gift, you don't look the gift horse in the mouth. And that's where it comes from.
So don't check the age of the horse. If someone gives you a horse,
say thanks.
Wait till you get home.
Yeah. Say thanks.
Don't do it in front
Look
of
at the teeth on the way home.
Yeah. So no, I kind of remembered that, but I mean, you know, knowing a horse, I mean, that's the first thing you would do. Is like if you're buying a horse,
you look at the teeth.
You look at the teeth. You look at the hose, and you know, but you look at the teeth probably first to check the age. So yeah, I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
All right. So my word of origin, a phrase of origin is odd man out. And it's used a lot of different terms right now.
I use it all the time.
Like you're just the odd man out. Like, you know, if it's paired up something right or whatever. But believe it or not, what's our topic today?
Cigarettes.
So during the Civil War.
Okay.
During the Civil War, it was bad luck to light 3 cigarettes with one match.
Right, I have heard this.
All right. And the reason is that's when snipers first came to be. So it would give people time. So if I lit my cigarette, I lit your cigarette, and the next odd man would be taken out.
Right, because they'd see the match.
It gave them enough time to identify where the target was at night, and they would shoot at that person. And they would usually kill that person because they had enough time to aim at them and give them a target. So it came from that. The 3 cigarette. The third man was the odd man was the one who got taken out.
So when I was growing up, we had a superstition that you would only light 2 cigarettes with one match.
Yeah, it's a bad luck because of that.
Because of the same thing.
It's bad luck because of that.
Okay.
But it came with that. All of that came together, and it was with good reasoning.
Yeah.
You know, it's always bad luck to light a 3rd cigarette with one match.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
You know, just briefly speaking of snipers, there was a couple of Irish guys who were snipers. Okay. In the American War, in the Revolutionary War, and the Irish loved the fact that the British generals would wear red. Because it was very easy to snipe a guy from a distance. If he was wearing a bright red jacket.
You just put a big target on him.
Yeah.
Probably not the best move.
No, it really wasn't.
Probably not the best move.
Anyway.
But I mean, even like, what was it, during the Vietnam and stuff like that, you know, because there was so many guerrilla warfare and stuff like that, officers would put on, like, enlisted men clothes so that they wouldn't be taken out or be targeted. Like immediately targeted, because if you went in and you had all your brass on and stuff like that.
And also if people were saluting.
Yeah, and people would salute. They would like, "Don't you salute me? Yeah. We don't know who's watching."
Yeah, I think I saw that in Forrest Gump, and I was like, "Is that a thing?" Apparently, that was a thing.
Lieutenant Dan. Lieutenant Dan pretty much got onto him about it. All right, so we're at cigarettes. So I know we both have different histories of cigarettes. You actually were once a smoker.
I was a smoker.
I grew up in a smoking family. All right.
I did too.
So like my grandparents, cheers. We haven't even cheers. So my grandparents were smokers. My dad was a smoker up until his second heart attack. He's had 7, I think, 5 or 7. I'm not sure which.
I like that it took him till his second heart attack before he stopped.
Well, that one really hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, it might have been the smoke. Yeah, it was the smoking pops. But, I grew up in a household where, like, my grandfather's seat was there, my grandmother's seat was here, and above them was nicotine stain.
Oh, God.
Because, they always had a cigarette. And they smoked... they rolled their own. By the age of 4, I knew how to roll a cigarette. There was a little machine in Clip Off East Side, and it was like a game. It was like a bonding moment, and my grandparents got me and my sister to do it, so they never had to do it. But it was, it was just the worst stuff in the world. Like you just why don't you just throw nicotine right into your face?
My father smoked a brand of cigarettes,
and both of them died because of smoking complications. So,
well, my dad smoked Woodbines.
Oh, gosh.
Woodbines, and they were about yay big. And they were lethal. They were banned. They were banned and done away with long before anybody thought of banning cigarettes.
Yeah.
But that's what my dad smoked. Yeah. I smoked for 20 years.
Did your mom and dad both smoke?
My mother and father smoked. Everybody in Ireland smoked.
My mom did not smoke.
There was 6 of us, parents and kids, 6 of us. And at one stage, everybody had their own ashtray at the table. Wow. Like, it was ridiculous. It was ridiculous.
How old were you? When you're saying there were 6 of you at the table.
So I started smoking when I was 12.
Okay.
12. You imagine seeing a 12-year-old today smoking?
Late bloomer.
And I was late amongst my friends.
Yeah,
Several friends of mine started smoking when they were 9. Yeah. And we were allowed to smoke at school.
At school?
At school was
We
fine.
were allowed to chew tobacco at school. In DeLand, we were allowed to chew tobacco as long as you had a spit cup with you.
Oh, my God.
Can you imagine today in school,
Yeah.
I'm sure they still do it. They might still do it in DeLand. I shouldn't even say that. But, I was chewing tobacco. I chewed tobacco until I was probably 13, 14 years old. I'd only chewed for like 2 years. And I got taken out at second base. You used to be able to break up double plays. And I came across second base, and this big guy, Duncan, he ended up playing with Oklahoma, came in and just wiped me out. And I was a little guy, and I landed flat on my back, and I swallowed my whole jaw of Red Man.
Yeah, that'll do it.
All right. So my dad was my Babe Ruth coach at the time. So I walk out to center field, and I'm just throwing up everywhere in the middle of the field. And the assistant coach goes, my dad's Freddie. He's like, Freddie, you going to go get him? He's like, no, he's a dipshit that got himself into it. So, and I never, and it's probably good it happened because I had friends that, have had complications with Copenhagen and mouth cancers and stuff like that. So it's probably good it happened early on.
Yeah.
But I never smoked. And I never chewed tobacco after that day.
Well, we were allowed. So I was at an all-boys boarding school, as we may have alluded to before, and it was run by priests. And we weren't allowed smoking first.
Did the priest smoke?
Oh, yeah. Everybody smoked.
Okay.
And in Ireland, the kids stayed in one classroom. The teachers moved from room to room.
Yeah.
And in between classes, everybody would go outside to the outside toilets, and you could smoke out there. And the teachers, who were priests, would come out, and they would smoke with us or bum cigarettes off of us. Wow. And then we would go back in. But they were very strict. You couldn't smoke in your first year of secondary school, so when you were like 12 to 13.
Yeah.
But after that, it was okay to smoke.
And it was expected. You had extra cigarettes for the priest.
And everybody smoked. And there was some of them, you could hear them. If they didn't come outside to smoke, they'd start in the staff room, and they'd come down the stairs, and there was a math teacher would come into the room, and he would take the final drag of a cigarette, throw it out on the floor, walk, as he was walking, just quench it with his foot, and then just start talking every single day.
Yeah. And it's a different world. It's a completely different world. So, and I don't think people understand. I just dropped the cap over there, so I'm going to put
talk.
I'm going to...
When you first started doing trivia...
Yeah.
There were sections.
Smoking. No, there was smoking. And where I sat up on stage, and I literally had to change in the garage.
When you came home?
When I came home, I had to peel everything off because I was a non-smoking house. But when I did trivia, there was only certain clothes I wore to trivia.
Because of smoking?
Because I didn't want to ruin my clothes.
Yeah.
And whoever the girlfriend I was dating when I first started doing trivia and stuff, it would get in her hair. And it'd be like, okay, you're just going to have to take a shower. I'm sorry.
But you remember
but it was like they would literally have smoking sections right beside the non-smoking sections. Like that pavilion stopped all the smoke from going over there.
Well, you remember smoking and non-smoking sections in restaurants?
Yeah.
Like, and there'd be one table would be here, non-smoking, and then a table here was smoking.
Funny story. The first time I think we took Blake to Ohio, my mom and him took him to Ohio and Ty, his younger brother, and we went to a Bob Evans, and I believe it was in West Virginia.
Wow. Yeah.
And they actually said, "What's your preference?" And we'd already had non-smoking, like no restaurant smoking in Florida.
In Florida. Oh yeah, and it took them forever.
And his mom says, "Oh, we'd like a window." I was like, "No, that's not what they mean. They mean smoking and non-smoking." But we had gotten so used to it in Florida, it didn't even register that was a thing.
I had the same problem. I would go up to Western Pennsylvania every Christmas, which is my wife's family's from there, and I would go down to the bars on the Allegheny, little mining community right outside of Pittsburgh, and we're completely smoke-free in bars and restaurants in Florida for 6, 7, 8, a decade.
Yeah.
And you go to these bars and you'd walk in and it would just annihilate you.
Yeah.
You just couldn't believe it.
This is like in the 90s. We're not talking.
This is in the 2000s up in Western Pennsylvania.
Oh, wow, that's crazy.
Crazy.
Well, I mean, Blake was born in 2001, so that was in the 2000s, obviously.
Yeah.
All right, so a lot of interesting facts when I did this history. And when I threw this in, like we've been doing this for about 4 weeks, a month now, it was overload information. So, and the history of cigarettes goes back to the Aztecs and the Mayans is what I found. Is that what you found too?
Yeah, that's what I found. And, it goes back to the Aztecs in Mexico. There's evidence from, 5,000 BCE. But even here in the United States, looking at Native Americans, you're looking at, again, 1,500 years ago, that kind of thing. Yeah,
so it's crazy, but the word cigarette...
it's pretty new.
Yeah, it's fairly new. It was 1830.
1830
is when they came up. I mean, it's 200 years old, but it's still fairly new as far as the history of
in comparison
of the entire. And it's from France. They finally did something nice. Sorry, friends.
Apologize to all our people listening in France.
Yes. I guess all 19 of them. But it came from France in 1830. But people were still more kind of cigars, and then because the papers were harder to get in that time, and when the development of paper became easier and better and thinner, cigarettes surpassed cigars.
Right. Yeah, and I read somewhere that the invention of the rolling machine, which I think was in 1860 in America, and suddenly you could mass produce cigarettes because of that.
Yeah.
And that just
I think the mechanical one came in 1881 or something like that, and it really blew up that side of it. But they discovered in the 1920s it was bad for us.
No.
But in the 1920s, okay, that's like 100 years ago. And yet still people are smoking today.
Yeah.
All right. But one of the most interesting things that I found, do you know where the first anti-smoking campaign was?
No, I have absolutely no idea.
Because I said something to you, you're like, no, I don't know. Hitler.
Oh, he was a non-smoker.
He was a non-smoker.
That's right.
And all he was is he wanted to build the ideal man. So it was in Nazi Germany, the first anti-smoking campaign went into effect.
And we're banned on Facebook.
Yeah, because we said the word. We said the word
Seriously?
Nazi.
Seriously? Excellent.
They don't take us off that quick. And we got a week to wait. But I mean, that was where it actually originated.
Really?
The first anti-smoking.
That's incredible. I never knew that. Maybe, or if I'd heard it, I'd forgotten it. That's fantastic.
But you said, what was the first country?
So the first country that banned cigarettes in the workplace was Ireland.
Okay.
In 2004, Ireland banned cigarettes in the workplace, and the smoking ban then meant that even bars in Ireland. In January the 1st, 2005, no bars you could never smoke in a bar again, inside. Wow. Incredible. And what I find most incredible about that is, I started smoking when I was 12 in Ireland. I came late to the game. Mm-hmm. I found this statistic this week. In 1975 in Ireland, 75% of adult males were smoking. 75%. But what I love about that is, that's only people who were over 18. Every kid was smoking
they didn't
as
even
well.
count the kids.
Right? That's insane.
So at the peak in the U.S., and then they started the campaigns pretty much in the 60s and started putting labels on and stuff like that. At the peak, it was 55% of men 55%. And 33% of women. Now it's like less than 21% of all Americans.
Wow.
So, but at the peak, and the e-cigarettes have boosted,
they bumped it back up again.
Boosted a little bit, but at the peak in the U.S. it was 55%. Wow. And I can tell you this: only a handful of my friends smoke cigarettes.
I don't know if I know anybody who smokes today.
I definitely, because I have older friends that that are in their 70s and 80s that still smoke.
Okay, I remember being amazed.
Like, screw it, if it kills me, it kills me. I'll stop now.
Yeah, even when I first came to America, it's 32 years ago now. I was amazed at how few people smoked in America in 1990.
Yeah,
because everybody smoked in Ireland.
Yeah,
and in fact, I've told you this story before. When I first came to America, transatlantic flight, Aer Lingus from Dublin to JFK.
Yeah.
You could still smoke on transatlantic flights. And it was called third class. It was the back of the plane, seats for about 50.
Yeah.
And what happened was, every single human being...
They didn't give you a seatbelt, they just gave you a rope.
So there was the front half of the plane was non-smoking. The little back third was smoking.
The plane was flying like this.
Yeah, exactly. To keep the smokes out like that, yeah. But what ended up happening was, every single person from the rest of the plane would come to the third class.
Yeah.
So you'd have seats for 50. You'd have about 240 people crammed into the back, sitting everywhere. Everybody be drinking. Nobody would be telling anyone to sit down or fasten a seatbelt. It was absolutely... it was like the Wild West.
Well, the cup holder has replaced the ashtray in the car.
That's right. Ashtrays in the car.
You didn't used to have cup holders.
That's right. We never had a cup holder.
You didn't have cup holders in the car. And now you actually buy a car, like, how many cup holders?
How many cup holders? Yeah.
And my car doesn't have an ashtray in it.
You used to have a minimum. You'd probably have a minimum 5 ashtrays in a car.
Yeah. No, I mean the station wagons probably had like 27. So
yeah.
And my dad would be like, he'll roll his window down about this much, because he wants to stay aerodynamic.
Oh yeah.
Smoke throughout the entire vehicle. Me and my sister in the back, like where you laid up on the back.
Yeah.
There was a window there, and I was small enough. I'd lay up there, take a pillow up there with me and sleep for trips.
Yeah.
Yeah, like just.
I sat on the
like
death seat.
Like a cat.
I sat on the emergency brake. I was that guy.
Oh, okay.
Right, because there was the other 3 in the back seat, and I would sit on the handbrake.
Your seatbelt was your mom's arm?
Yeah, that was it. Yeah. And my parents chain smoking the whole time.
Exactly.
And my dad smoked, when I was growing up, probably 60 cigarettes a day. My mom about
and
probably
see,
a pack
my
and a
mom
half.
didn't smoke. So I have a question for you. When she slammed on the brakes, did she burn you with the cigarette?
Well, yes.
Who in your family burnt you the most with cigarettes?
My mom. My mom burned me so often with cigarettes. But my mom would sometimes be hitting us with the wooden spoon, and the cigarette would still be in the corner of her mouth. Like, just wouldn't remove it, like, as she's still hammering away at you with something.
See, my grandfather...
A violent, angry woman,
My papa was a tinkerer. So he was always doing stuff. He was always and I was always in the garage with him because he was my guy.
Yeah.
Everybody's got their guy.
He was your guy.
My guy was my papa. And he would constantly be instructing, like, showing me how to do stuff, which was great.
Yeah.
Because, I can still get my way around. I can't fix everything, but I can do enough to get by and feel like a man. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I got that much talent in me. So, Blake,
more than I have.
Would you agree with that? I have just a little bit of skill, just enough to get by. Technology Technology, it takes me out.
No, I can't do it.
No,
Any-
no, no. You definitely need my help when it comes to technology.
Technology, I'm like, Black! Remote,
Yay.
put a remote in my hand. It's like,
Yeah,
oh, I don't know.
no idea.
But like, I can figure out like new cars I can't figure out at all.
Yeah, but old cars.
Old cars, I'm good. I have a 1965 Jeep, and I had to have Blake spray some stuff in the carburetor, and he's like, "Wait a second, what am I about to do?" But I forget in the new cars, you can't just work on them, and now.
No, you
in my
can't
day, you
because there's
just
all
did it.
computers and like,
You
there's
just
no
did it.
chance.
But I mean, my grandfather, he was a tinkerer, so he would always be talking, and he would burn me pretty much I mean, I'm amazed I have flesh on my forearms at all.
Because-
And he's also a guy, and my dad would do this too. Here, hold this.
Hold this. Yeah.
And I didn't smoke. And it wasn't encouraged to smoke here. I mean, I didn't smoke. It wasn't like, hey, take a drag. It was just like, here, hold this. And I'd have to hold it for him and then give it back to him.
That's amazing.
So, and if I dropped it, that was the worst.
Civilization would end.
It will all come to an end.
Yeah.
All come to an end. All right. So, what was one of the most interesting advertisements you found in this tangent that we
Okay.
went down?
So, I want to touch briefly on. In 1946, Camel, R.J. Reynolds came out with. The tagline was that more doctors smoke Camels than any other cigarette.
see that
right?
advertisement.
So I love that. But when I looked at it further, the reality was Reynolds was sending cartons of cigarettes to doctors all over America so that they could legally, literally say, more doctors smoke Camels than everything else.
Because it was free.
It was free. They were giving cartons of cigarettes. So I love those. The 30s and 40s ads. Camels, they don't get your wind. Old Gold was amazing. Fresh as mountain air was their tagline. Fresh as mountain
like
air.
a peppermint patty.
Yeah, like what mountain? Like Vesuvius in 79 AD?
By the way,
Maybe?
Today's the day Vesuvius blew up.
Today.
Yeah.
There.
It was David.
That's fresh as mountain air right there.
Oh gosh. By the way, speaking of Vesuvius, I feel like we're in the volcano.
Oh my God, it's so hot right
hot in here. I promise you, it's reading 85. There's a thermometer in here. It's reading
dying.
85 inside here.
PP and Davey are going to be miserable for the morning show tomorrow if it doesn't get fixed by then.
I can tell you, it's not getting fixed by morning.
So my favorite though of all
Wearing
of
shorts
the
tomorrow.
of all of the commercials, all right. So Marlboro cigarettes.
Yes.
Okay. Marlboro was originally introduced as
A woman's cigarette
As
in
a
1924.
woman's cigarette.
1924.
24. It was introduced as a woman's cigarette. They were targeting, Philip Morris was targeting women. The tagline was mild as May. Oh,
That's nice.
mild as May.
I don't know.
No.
I bet there's some pretty angry Mays out there. Mae West.
Mae West was probably
Yeah,
very
yeah,
angry.
she was probably angry.
Yeah, to be fair.
Yeah.
But right when the research started to suggest that there might be some problems, health-related issues with smoking, Philip Morris decided that they were going to go with filtered cigarettes. So filters were a relatively new thing in the 1950s. And they decided that they were going to claim that smoking a filtered cigarette was safer for you than smoking non-filtered. Absolute, complete rubbish, bullshit, total fucking lie.
Yeah.
Didn't matter.
Didn't matter.
But
As long as you're selling.
as long as you're selling. But what they had to do then was convince men to smoke a woman's cigarette.
Yeah.
Right? So in 1951 or 52, 1% of male smokers smoked Marlboros.
Okay.
Within 15 years, it was the number one brand of cigarettes smoked by men.
54 changed.
54 changed everything.
Yeah.
Right? In 1954, they introduced the Marlboro Man.
Toughest guy in town.
They introduced the Marlboro
Marlboro
Man.
Cowboy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now they tried sea captains.
Yeah.
They tried construction workers. They tried war correspondents, and then they hit on the cowboy.
Yeah.
And that
Hit
was it. It's iconic.
But it's when television started taking
Yeah.
off too. And and all of that same time, it all married
It all
up
hit
together.
Yeah. Like it was perfect timing. But suddenly the Marlboro Man was individualistic. He was independent. He was the master of his own destiny.
It's a man's
Cowboy. Man's man.
Man's
That's
man.
it. Yeah.
He didn't need Mae West.
He needed nothing.
Man's man. But I mean, the Marlboro then became one of the number one brands in the entire U.S.
Yeah. And the Marlboro Man, it lasted until 1999 in America.
Yeah.
Was still being
Don
used.
Johnson killed it. They did a movie called The Marlboro Man or whatever with Don Johnson.
Don Johnson,
It killed
that
it.
was it.
It killed
Yeah.
it. He ruins a lot of things.
They were still doing it in Eastern Europe in the early 2000s, the Marlboro Man. And the last television commercial was in Indonesia in 2012. They had a Marlboro Man in Indonesia.
Wow.
But fun fact, if by fun fact you're fond of, lung cancer related deaths, 5 of the actors who portrayed the Marlboro Man died of cigarettes, cigarette illnesses, lung cancer, etc., etc. 5 of them.
Throat cancer, lung cancer, something along that lines. All right, so we're talking about advertisement and cigarettes, and one of the ones that I find the most interesting is the Flintstones. So the Flintstones were actually created almost as a spin-off or a knockoff of the Honeymooners.
Okay, yeah.
So it was a primetime show, 2 couples that are friends and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it was actually a cartoon. It was in black and white, cartoon, black and white. But its original primetime sponsor was Winston Cigarettes.
Winston Cigarettes. Okay.
So and we're on YouTube now.
Yeah.
So
Actually, there was a problem with the YouTube stream. I had to.
But our shows are on YouTube.
Yes.
I mean, most people are watching us on Facebook, but if you missed our show, you can always go back. Or if you missed some shows last week, you can go back and grab our YouTube shows, right,
Yeah.
Blake? Blake set this up for us, and so
we're huge. We're on YouTube.
I challenge you guys to go and watch the Winston cigarette commercials of the Flintstones.
Oh, I'm going to do that.
It's absolutely hilarious. And the other thing that's out there is, speaking of cartoons,
Did they have Fred and Barney smoking
outside?
Seriously?
Like Fred's foot up against the wall, Barney's sitting there, and they're just smoking Winston cigarettes, and it's amazing. Something you would never see today. Absolutely never see today. But as far as advertisement go and changing sports, Winston, I got to give credit to, because I'm a huge NASCAR fan.
Right, and they made NASCAR.
The Winston
Or they really
Cup
did, yeah.
would never have been, like in the late 70s, would never have been able to afford that primetime sports slots on Sundays.
Yeah.
And that's when NASCAR really kind of blew up.
Yeah.
It was kind of at the end of Richard Petty, at the beginning of Dale Earnhardt.
Yeah.
And you had Waltrip, and you had Wallace, and you had just a really good group of guys you can kind of...
Dick Trickle.
Yeah.
Great name.
Yeah, Dick Trickle. I think Dick Trickle's the one who drove in like patent shoes or something. Blake, do you remember that?
So I think it was Dave Marcus.
Oh, it's Dave Marcus. It was the same time frame.
Yeah.
Same time frame.
Yeah,
So,
but I'll say though. But speaking about cigarettes in motorsports, another big one is Formula One.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
so
Marlboro team in Formula One.
Yep. So I actually got a quick game for you guys. If you guys have the stream going, so I'm going to show you guys some ads that actually got censored. So I was recommend pulling up on your phone, because I'm not sure if you can see all the way from.
well, it's going to be delayed on our phone though, Blake. So
Sure.
I don't think that's going to work.
True. You sure?
Oh, we can try it out.
All right.
It doesn't happen exactly. The feed's a little delayed on our phone.
All right.
So
All right.
let me pull up my phone here. You throw it up there. We'll see
right.
what we
You're
got.
following up. I also
We'll try it out.
So I'll give you guys a hint. So from 1997 to 2020, Ferrari was sponsored by this cigarette company. But in recent years, recently did the barcode to try to get some branding out.
Oh, so you hit it with the barcode here. I'll let you look at that one.
No, that's them. That Ferrari did that.
Oh, Ferrari put the
Marlboro?
barcode on it.
Yep, it is Marlboro.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, let me try to go.
That's crazy.
While you're pulling up another one, you know that
Yep.
up until 1975, cigarettes were part of MREs, part of the rations
they were in
for the
the
US
rations.
military.
Yep.
Yeah.
They were in the rations, and and people that didn't smoke actually could trade and had they got more chocolate bars.
All right, here. So let's do number 2.
Let's see what you got, Blake. Let's see how quickly it comes
from
up.
1991 to 1993, this cigarette company sponsored Williams F1 team.
Oh, that's Camel.
Yeah,
That's Camel.
That's easy.
That's Alan Prost driving that car right there. The great Alan Prost.
That's Damon Hill.
Damon Hill. Well, it's a Williams team. Prost was the better driver.
True.
All right,
Oh, dang, I got. Hold on. Okay.
but I mean, like, it's crazy the money that went into advertising.
Advertising cigarettes.
And on television, it went up to like 1972. So if you watch the old Johnny Carson shows,
They're all smoking.
they're all smoking. You know, Sinatra's there, Johnny's there, Rickles is there. I mean, I know I'm old school,
Yeah.
but that's some funny shit.
It had some cachet, though. It really did. Like, and
It really did.
it's remarkable how good the advertising campaigns were for something that is so bloody bad for you.
Yeah.
You know?
It's crazy.
Incredible.
Blake, you got another one for us?
Yep, got another one here. So this one is from the BAR team from 1999 to 2005 and the Honda Works team in 2006.
2006.
So this is the Honda 2006 car.
Okay, what's that round?
Oh, is that Lucky No. Is it Lucky Strike?
It's Lucky Strike.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and this is well into the 2000s.
Yeah.
So the
Formula One.
money that they threw into sports, and it changed the sports so much, and it, you know, but there was so much money. Even the lawsuits that took place were just incredible. They're in the billions of dollars.
One of the
And you know what
funniest-
they said? We'll write you a check.
We'll write you a check. Yeah.
Yeah,
Didn't
alright.
matter.
All right, so I got 2 more for you. So here's the next one from
All right.
1994 to
See what we got.
1997. This cigarette company also sponsored Williams.
I don't know that one.
John Player Blue.
No, it is Rothman.
Rothmans. Rothmans was going to get Rothmans, but
I don't even know what that cigarette is.
yeah, John Player Blue. Johnny
a-
Blues or Rothmans, yeah.
Is that a European cigarette?
European cigarette,
Yeah,
yeah.
so,
Okay.
so it's based in the United Kingdom. So
Yeah.
Okay.
definitely not. So Dad, you're not going to get this one. This is the last
so
one here.
Another one in the United
So-
Kingdom. All right, so
Yeah, so-
Irishman's got an advantage
So
on this one.
this is 1997 to 2005 with the McLaren team. Kimi Räikkönen is testing this car, but is more famous with Mika Häkkinen.
Mika Häkkinen, heck of a driver. I don't know. Is it John Player?
That is West.
No, I don't even know
I
what
don't
West
even know what that
is.
cigarette is.
So apparently that is a Japanese cigarette.
And it's worldwide, and that's a great segment.
Yeah.
Like, it's worldwide of where the cigarettes
Yeah.
are. And in today's society, we've dropped so much
Yeah,
from the
here.
here,
Yeah.
but not around the world.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, baby, because
And still in prison,
Yes.
still the best currency.
Still the best currency.
Yeah.
Don't
because-
go to prison, but it's still the best
Yeah,
currency.
yeah, because up until like 2007, you can still have advertisements, but as long as like it complies with the country's laws.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
huge cigarette
Yeah, but
smoking in Asia.
in 72
not
in the
really.
U.S., things really curtailed off. Like
Yeah.
you said, in 75, they took them out of the MREs. They used to be rationed, and in in World War I and World War II, it was important to them.
Yeah.
So
It
and then
boosted
and
morale.
They had the odd man out rule.
Had the odd man out rule.
So
yeah.
never on 3 matches. So in any of those wartime situations, never on 3 matches.
Yeah, cigarettes is something I feel like I could have talked about for hours.
Yeah.
But
We actually let's talk about our sponsors
Let's
real
talk
quick,
about
and then
our
we're gonna
sponsors.
slide. Then we're gonna slide. You have a blank screen on your phone, Blake.
Yeah. And can we finish-
Blake sends us messages on the phone, and he just sent up a blank screen.
can we finish with
I don't know if it's a blank screen or I have too much sweat in my eyes from it being so hot in this damn studio.
it is bloody boiling in here.
So,
Boiling.
all right. Before we do that,
Boiling.
what do you want to go to?
So I want to
You want to-
finish with my Irish bar downtown, but
Okay.
let's start by talking about how we feel right now. We both feel 900 degrees.
We are 900 degrees, and I wish we were sitting in 900-degree pizza and pasta.
Right, because they would have
Having
air conditioning
They have
and we
AC
would have pizza.
They have working ACs right
Yeah.
next to their 900-degree oven,
Yeah.
which works great. It's amazing. It's right there off of Lewis Speedway. Go check out.
If you haven't tried it, go over there, get down Lewis Speedway and try it. It's great pizza.
Yeah.
It's great pizza.
Yeah. And if you filed for an extension like I have, and you haven't officially filed, go over and see Abare, Kresge and Associates and prepare for next year. Prepare for this
next year.
So go see them. They'll help you out. They'll help out. If you're starting a new business, they'll get you through. They'll help you write your business plan, get you started in the right area.
They just know what they're doing.
Yeah.
They're just better at it than everybody else.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that.
Yeah, they really are. All right, the Beacon Listening Room.
I love it.
We reconnected there. You haven't been coming to trivia for a while. I've been wanting to do this show, and as soon as you walked in, I was like, "That's my guy. That's my guy. I want to do this."
The Beacon brought us together.
Yeah, the Beacon brought us back together, and we had a couple pints and quarts together.
Yeah, one or two
over the decades. But when you step back in the Beacon, I instantly went, "This is who I'm doing this show with." And I've been waiting to do this show and have the right person to do it with for a long time. And you came into the Beacon, and
it's so rare that anybody has said I'm the right person for really anything.
Well, I needed crazy and smart.
There you go.
And you fit the bill.
I've got half of that.
You fit the bill. No, you're more smart than crazy.
But the Beacon is fantastic. Yes. Like, it's one of those lovely places. I live in Davis Shores. I can come through the neighborhood, cross the street. The staff at the Beacon are unbelievably nice. And then, like you said earlier, then you walk across the parking lot and you get some gypsy chicken. The food at Gypsy,
so
amazing.
Good. So good.
Absolutely amazing.
I can tell you this, there's very few foods I crave. All right. The gypsy chicken is number one. I crave it more than any other food in town. Like if it hits me, I have to go, and I'll get it to go too.
Yeah.
So I'll go in there and I'll get my gypsy chicken, and the other one is at my next bar, and it's a shepherd's pie. And the meatloaf at Meehan's is amazing.
So for me at Meehan's, burgers, they make an unbelievable burger. But as an Irishman, and I go back to Ireland every couple of years, the Guinness at Meehan's is as close
to home.
It's as close to home as you're going to get in this country.
Yeah.
Like, they just do a great pint of Guinness. Reggie understands what an Irish bar actually is. And because Reggie's from Ireland, Reggie's from Monaghan, he's an absolutely wonderful
even
individual.
Their management staff's from Ireland.
Look it. They're fantastic people. Fantastic people.
Two of their other managers are from Ireland too.
Yeah.
So, they just do it right. 3 different bars, oyster bar upstairs, the backyard, downstairs, excellent food. Blake, what's your favorite food at Meehan's? Tenders?
Yeah, I'll probably say either the tenders or the mac and cheese.
The mac and cheese is amazing. Have you had the mac and cheese there?
I'm not a mac and cheese fan.
What?
I know.
What?
I know.
Yeah, I thought you were becoming American. All right.
Get us some burgers.
All right, here we go. Pirates.
Love the Pirate Museum. Love the Pirate Museum.
Pirate Museum. Cindy over there, they do an amazing job. Captain Mayhem, if you go there and he's there, ask for him to do the tour.
Bill Mayhem is as good a guy in this town as you're going to find. And he's a character, and he's knowledgeable, he's funny, he's an unbelievable magician.
He's talented. I mean, he worked in Vegas for 20 years before coming back home.
Yeah, if you go to the Pirate Museum and Bill Mayhem is in there, you are in for a treat. It's a great museum. It's a great addition to downtown St. Augustine. Have people coming in from out of town, send them to the Pirate Museum. It's incredible.
All right, so that takes us to topic number 2. All right, we got about 20 minutes for topic number 2. A little less than 20 minutes for topic number 2. So you've been here since when?
1990.
1990.
Yeah.
All right, so I got to St. Augustine in 87. So I'm not too much earlier than you.
A couple of years, that's it,
But I didn't start working here until 1990. I started at Parks and Rec on January 2nd, 1990.
Wow.
I graduated in December. 2 weeks later, I started working at Parks and Rec. So I had 22 years in.
So I got here the middle of, I think the second week of July 1990 I got here.
Yeah.
And I started working at a bar called the Blarney Stone.
Oh, okay. So it's Cortesi's now.
Cortesi's now.
Yeah.
Across from where the carousel used to be and across from Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was Blarney Stone. And I didn't know it at the time. It had opened on a Thursday. And me and another friend of mine from Ireland, we walked in on a Sunday. Mm-hmm. We drove down from Jacksonville, saw the sign and went, right, in there.
Yeah.
And we were the first Irish people to ever walk in.
Wow.
And he hired us that day.
That's hilarious.
And we told him, obviously, we were 21. We told him that we'd worked in bars in Ireland.
Mm-hmm.
And he believed us.
You never worked in a bar?
No. Not a clue, like.
Yeah, so that was the first bar in St. Augustine.
First bar in St. Augustine.
And now it's Cortesi's.
Yeah.
So my first bar, is actually still here. All right, so I was a transfer baseball player from Seminole Community College, and I was coming in, and there was a solid team before I got here.
Yeah.
So I mean, Paul Abbott knows he works with the school district.
Abba,
Abba, and like there was a whole group of seniors, and I was a junior who was transferring in.
Yeah.
So the entire starting team basically was there, waiting for me in the breezeway because we didn't need a whole lot of people.
Yeah.
So I come in and like, come on. So I'm the new guy.
Okay.
All right. And I think there's like 8 of us going over to the bar. And we had this game we played at St. George's Tavern where like you'd get a pitcher.
Yeah.
All right. And you rotate it around. And I think there ended up being 5 at each table. So it was 5 on 5.
Yeah.
So you'd start at one table, you drink as much out of the pitcher as you can. Before COVID days, obviously. You'd hand it to the next person. They drink as much as they can. So I'm the 5th person in our group. So like my group gets about halfway through the pitcher.
You got to finish it?
No, well, I thought that was the rule.
Oh, yeah. I would think that's
I thought that was the rule. They did not explain the rules. So I ended up crushing this thing because I wasn't on my first day with my new teammates.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to let my team lose. I needed them to understand my competitive spirit. And literally, I killed it, and they went, you could have passed that. Because when I was struggling at the end, I was like, oh.
And you're in the tavern.
But it was in the tavern, and they had it's when they had the big stalls. I don't know if you remember those, like the big stalls there.
I do.
Yeah. And
I remember quarter beer night in there. When I first came here, quarter beer night.
It was Wednesday night, right?
Oh my God. Was it $1 for a pitcher?
Yeah.
Was it?
It was ridiculous. I think it was $2, but
$2 for a pitcher,
I think it was $2 for a pitcher.
Oh, man.
But I mean it was just crazy. And I gotta give credit. I gotta give the awards for sustainability to 2 bars.
Tavern,
and the
Trade Winds.
Trade Winds.
Yeah.
You gotta give sustainability points to those 2 bars.
Yeah.
So
if you go back, so if you've been here, so I've been here for 32 years. Mm-hmm. There's not many bars still left in St. Augustine that are the same name, same everything. Trade Winds and George's Tavern is still there. Right. Incredible places.
And I want to challenge the people out there watching, throw us names out. Blake's going to throw names at us.
Yeah.
And we're hopefully going to be able to tell you what's in that location.
What it was, what it is now. Yeah.
Right. And I think, and this might be where, I don't know if it's where you and I met, but it might be where you and I met. I believe it was either Good Times or Salt Run Tavern.
It was probably Salt Run Tavern when I met you there. Yeah,
because I started with Good Times when I started trivia there with Good Times.
Yeah,
and then it became Salt Run Tavern at that point. After that, but the history
it's new Sheba Hut now. If you're thinking, what are they talking about?
You're like,
Sheba Hut now.
What location's that? But the cool thing of that location, is, do you know what it originally was?
I don't. I've no idea.
Okay, you know how there was that area that looked like a drive-thru?
Looked like a drive-thru, yeah.
It was originally a Burger King.
Seriously?
So, and there was a drive-thru that went through there, and now you can't even tell it's there anymore. They made
but you used to be able to have it used to look like that.
Be able to see it, and if you're facing Sheba Hut, it was off to the right, and there was like a little area. The drive-thru, and you didn't make it to trivia last night.
I didn't make it to trivia last night.
All right, so do you know how the drive-thru originated?
No.
Okay.
No idea.
So in Arizona, there was a small town in Arizona. There was a McDonald's there. All right. There was a McDonald's, and it was close to a military base.
Okay.
At that time, the military had a rule that you couldn't go in public in your uniform. So you couldn't go in a restaurant in public in your uniform. So all these guys would have to drive home, get out of clothes, and then come back to McDonald's. McDonald's, the owner says, you know what? That's not fair. Let's figure out how to do this. So he opened up a window so that they could stay in their car. I mean, they would just drive up, stay in their car.
Yeah.
They give them, because there was only like 6 things on. There was no like McFish or
around like that.
But they would give them their food. So the drive-through originally started to help out the military in a small town in Arizona.
That's fantastic.
And that was in 1974, 75.
Wow. May I segue off of that?
Yes, go ahead.
My favorite.
You can go down whatever tangent you want. That's part of the game.
My favorite drive-through. Mm-hmm. My favorite drive-through was the Lazy Sands bar in Milano when I first got here.
Milano. It's no longer here either. Lost Bars.
Lost Bars. I used to live in North Beach, and I would finish up the Blarney Stone. Sometimes I worked the day shift, and I didn't have a car back in those days, going over the old Volano Bridge. By the way, terrifying on a bicycle on the old Volano Bridge. But on my way home, I would go on my bike through the drive-through window at Lazy Sands, and they would give me a beer in a brown paper bag.
Yeah.
And
Well, it was a package store,
It was
too.
a package store too. And I would ride on up A1A North with my bicycle and my beer in my brown paper bag, drinking away. And I thought I had died and gone to heaven.
Yeah.
All right. So it looks like we got some bars here from the comments.
Okay, what we got?
So let's do. Keely says Sandbar.
Oh, the Sandbar's still there.
Sandbar's
too.
still there.
Sandbar's still there too. That's I'm
Yeah.
sorry, that's a little further down.
It is, yeah.
You know, and
Great
I
bar.
was thinking more downtown, but the Sandbar gets cred. Also,
Yeah.
Keeley with that one. So the Sandbar still has some
That
cred.
has been here a long
Yeah.
time.
All right. So Bobby says Churchill's Attic and Tavern on the Bay.
That's our sponsor.
That's our sponsor.
Meehan's. That's where it's at.
Churchill's Attic became Tavern on the Bay, became Meehan's.
All right, and I tell you this: they used to do pool tournaments at Churchill's Attic upstairs.
Yeah.
Like upstairs, and the room was super small and all this.
Oh,
stuff.
tiny.
And I'm not a good pool player, but I had it was partners, but I had a pretty decent pool player with me. But I understand physics and I understand how to play defense.
Yeah.
So I would win with my buddy Waylon, who was my roommate and my buddy. We'd win every week, and basically we won a bar tab. There was sometimes we showed up there and started drinking, and we didn't have any money. We were
Just in the anticipation
we were
of.
that cocky.
Yeah.
We're like, we're gonna win, so it's all right.
Pretty great name for a bar, Churchill's Attic.
Churchill's Attic.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, that's the first place I ever saw college basketball, Churchill's Attic. And it's also a place where I saw all kinds of crazy things from some people who are now very respectable citizens in St. Augustine.
I'm sitting right here.
Yeah, well, this one in particular, Bob Myers. If anyone out there, Bob Myers, Churchill's Attic, your 21st birthday. I'm just going to leave it at that.
Yeah.
All right. So here's another one from Patrick, Breakers Lounge.
Breakers.
Breakers.
I'm not sure where Breakers is.
I know where that. No, where is it?
I remember the name.
Yeah.
All right. So let's move on to another one. Michelle says Passport Joe's.
Oh,
yeah.
Passport Joe's is now Tides, and
It's now Tides,
It
yeah.
was.
Yeah, Passport Joe's a million years ago.
Yeah.
You used to go to Panama Hatties and then Passport Joe's. It was
Yeah.
like part of that beach kind of
Yeah.
loop kind of thing.
Well, I
you
mean,
did.
you used to do, and then there was Wildflower that was down there too.
yeah.
So like on Sundays, you would literally do caps. You would do
Concows.
You would do
Passport or Panamas.
You do passports
Oh.
or Panama or Sunset. And by the way, Sunset's still here.
Sunset has been here forever. It was here when I got
And
here.
it's one of those that morphed itself into something amazing.
Yeah.
It was a tiny little bar, and the four guys that started
Are they
it.
from New Jersey?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're all Giants fans. I know that. I think they're Jersey, New York area.
Yeah.
You know, Mike, and they're still Pete and Mike are still a part of it. But they had a bar called Papagayos. I don't know if you remember that.
Was Papagayos?
It's where Salt Life is now.
Yeah. Was that the
It's where-
Mad Love Room?
Mad Love Room was connected to it.
Right.
And Mad Love Room was Judd.
Yeah.
And it was connected to it. So the Mad Love Room.
Cafe Iguana.
Cafe Iguana is what it morphed into at
Yeah.
that point too.
The
And I think
Mad Love Room.
Brud from Jack's was involved in
I
that.
think he
also.
was. Yep. I think he
So-
was.
So no, that was another hole.
Oh, Jax is another hole.
Yeah.
All right. So it's the last one here before Angry Irishman. American Graffiti.
Oh, American Graffiti. That one morphed into, it was Captain Jack's, and then it morphed into American Graffiti. Had really good burgers there.
Yeah.
A pretty decent bar. I did trivia there for about 2 years, and now it's in the location where Mellow Mushroom is.
That's right. I used to drink in Captain Jack's when it first came. I used to
Yeah.
live in the what are now there were the old Brubaker apartments. They used
Yeah,
to be
yeah.
pink,
Yeah.
and then they went mustard and yellow, and then they went kind of a bright blue color now.
I tried to get my business partner to buy that like 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Like 4 years ago, and it was like, right now it's worth
a lot.
5 times more than what I would have bought it for 4 years ago. And she was like, nah, we don't want to do that. It's too much work. And now I just want to go, ah!
What if you had one bar that no longer exists in St. Augustine, but you would like to go back into it one more time, what would it be?
Oh, just to go back into one more time.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this. I mean, I Scarlett's is the second bar I went into,
Scarlett's the second bar I was ever in.
and Scarlett's in its day
In its day.
was a really good bar.
There used to be lines of people outside.
And I don't
it.
want to pick on the group that just went out, but I can tell you, in its day, in the early '90s,
Incredible.
Scarlett's was as good as any place.
Do you remember Tom Schutte behind the bar?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
big. He was a Canadian football player,
Yeah.
or something like that. But the one bar I got to go to, and Blake will back me up on this. This is a social lounge.
Yeah, it's a social lounge.
It's a
Social lounge.
You know,
yeah.
it had all the games on, had all the sports
Right there in
on.
Kuna Street.
Right there on Kuna
Yep.
Street. It was
Yep.
small.
Scott really helped me get into football.
Yeah, Scott
Real
and Co,
football.
just
Real
wonderful,
football.
wonderful people, and I'm happy for them that they're enjoying their retirement. But the social lounge to me was the closest to a family bar.
Nice.
And I spend a lot of time in bars, and I can tell you this, going way back, the old Panama Hatties.
The old Panama Hatties.
The old Panama Hatties and the crew that I had at the old Panama Hatties on Friday night, I'd have 170 people.
Oh my God, the trivia
playing.
there was
I
incredible.
had 170 people playing trivia, and I'd tell the same stupid jokes that I still tell today.
Yeah.
And it's just was. I mean, it was kind of a family.
It was wonderful.
It
I
was
went
a
there.
Big, it was a
probably
big ass.
twice
It was a
month.
big ass bar. Literally, I would have 170 people there, and I go 1, 2, 3, shh, and everybody went quiet.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was just. I mean, but the Beacon's close.
And
We're building that kind of thing with the Beacon. So
and
the Beacon used to be the corner bar.
And wasn't there a particular trivia team that always showed up there, and we still do the
Still boo them to this
Yep.
day.
Yeah, they were there last night. They had 14 people last night.
They used to have 700.
Stone cold.
Boo.
So if I could have one bar back, do you remember Lynch's? Lynch's that was on the Bayfront that's now the Hilton.
Oh yeah. It's where the Ovillies is now.
I
The
would
restaurant.
love, because Lynch's was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like when they were down here, and they still have the great bar up in Jack's Beach. In many ways, I think Jack's Beach came back because of Lynch's up there. But I
tell you
miss
this,
that place.
like when I first started, as Parks and Rec guy, the softball teams and the volleyball teams, and I ran all the leagues and stuff
Yeah.
like that. When we were done, we went to Jeff's place.
Jeff's place, yeah. I remember Jeff's
it's
place.
where Burgers Buckets is now.
Yeah.
Burger Buckets is now
Across
closed.
from Ann O'Malley's.
Yeah. So I remember I was at Jeff's place the first night Ann O'Malley's opened. And I walked in and I met Trish. And we've been friends ever since then. And I was there the very first night Ann O'Malley's opened. And all I did was, hey, let's stumble over here and see what they got over here.
So I met Trish. I helped Trish get her first job when she moved to St. Augustine in the late summer of 1990. She came in looking for a job in the Blarney Stone. And the owner was like, should we hire her? And I'm like, she's a woman from Ireland. Like, are you
It's
insane?
authentic. Yeah, she's going to work her ass off.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
All right.
And at one stage, if I could go down so many
Angry
rabbit holes
Irishman.
here.
Do you have an Angry Irishman thing?
Well, do you know what? I don't really, because I want to say this. There was
Okay.
a time in this town we feared for Trish's life because Lynch's and Des Lynch, the original owner of Lynch's, Des kind of went off the back of the ferry boat in Jacksonville, right?
Yeah.
Death by misadventure,
yeah,
right?
I remember that.
Then there was Murphy's Poorhouse, which is where the Floridian is.
Yep.
One of the original owners just disappeared. Was
in
never
the
heard from
He
again.
disappeared in a parking lot.
He did, yeah.
Yeah.
Then
they
there
found
was-
they found his car and never found him.
Never found him. And then the guy from McKnight's, which is where Celestino's is now.
Yeah. And that's been everything.
That's been everywhere.
Papagayos. I mean, it's been everything. The Raw Bar.
He had a death by misadventure. And this was all within a couple of years. And we were actually worried about Trish. We were watching her.
Anybody who has an Irish bar.
You got an Irish bar, you could die. So, not an angry Irish rant, but like, there was times when we were worried.
It was not safe to be an Irish
It was
bar.
not safe to be an Irish bar owner. And by the way, Trish is back in O'Malley's on Wednesday nights.
Yes.
She doesn't own it anymore, but she comes guest bartends. She's an amazing
Ask
bartender.
for the egg salad. And tell her Troy sent you. Tell her Troy sent you and ask for the egg salad.
If you want to get punched in the mouth, do that.
They've never had egg salad. Anybody I've ever sent, no matter where Trish is working, I send people to ask for the egg salad. Dude,
Right.
so when you go back in,
We're getting the line from Yeah.
So, all right. Blake's telling us to wrap it up. That means the hour is up. That means we can stop sweating.
Yeah. Oh my God, it's so hot in here.
And believe it or not, we're complaining about it being hot. There's no heat coming off our
Yeah, the
fireplace.
fire's not real, thankfully.
There's no heat coming off our fireplace. I want to say thank you to everybody out there watching. Please hit that share button. Get it out there if you enjoy
Tell
it. Let your
everybody.
friends know. Us grab people and get them in. If you missed any of our shows, go back. You can watch it on the 904 Now app or on YouTube now. We have our own YouTube channel.
And also don't forget to follow us on Instagram as well.
Yeah,
Follow us on Instagram.
Follow us on Instagram.
And go to all of our sponsors. Remember, this is still a locals town. I know I'm Irish. I've lived here a long time. I feel local.
Yeah.
Go to the local bars. Go to the places. Hit up our sponsors. Let them know they're loved.
You lived here longer than you did in Ireland.
I've lived here a lot longer than I did
And you
in
still
Ireland.
can't shake that damn accent.
Can't shake the damn accent.
All right. I want to say thank you again, Blake. Great job. I appreciate it. Wonderful content. More tangents. You guys let us know what you want us to talk about, because
We'll talk about
we
anything.
love just going and chasing stuff.
We do.
So, all right. This
Good
is
night.
Bollox Talks and Tangents, and we'll be back next week.